So, yeah, I'm the Drunken Orange. This is my first video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, now before I start off, I just want to say this channel is really going to be for sort of just game reviews and that kind of stuff. So yeah, whatever you make of that. And I'm pretty new to YouTube, and I know. I mean, it's not easy getting on YouTube. I've tried a couple of times. It's never really worked out. So I hope this time it does work out. And yeah, I hope you guys like my reviews. So without any further ado, I'm the Drunken Orange, and we're going to be starting the first episode today. Alright, with that out of the way, first game I'm going to review is Pokemon X. Yeah. So first I'm gonna, before I actually do the review, first way it's gonna go is I'm gonna do the graphics of the game. There's the chickens, by the way. Just ignore all of them. Right, so the graphics, the music, sorry, the graphics, the gameplay, the music, the story, and the characters, and then my own personal enjoyment out of the series, out of the game, that review, and then see where it goes. And, out of that I can verdict out of, I guess, 5 or whatever. So as I said, Pokemon X version. So let's go on to, first of all, the graphics. Now, this is the first Pokemon game for the 3DS, and basically what that means is, it's gonna have better graphics. It's gonna be better than the original games, than the other games beforehand. Where they've all sort of just been 2D sprites or overworld. So yeah, so with really new improved graphics, it's just yeah, it's amazing. And it's got much better graphics than the original games. That's something very kind of like, from what I heard from like the interviews and stuff. What they said is that they took not just the new Pokemon they made, but all the previous Pokemon that's been made as well beforehand. All of them. Right. And they had to do 3D models of all of them. And, for that kind of graphics level, that's just, I don't know, I mean, it's pretty good. So that's the graphics out of the way. Gameplay wise, it still works very much like any other Pokemon, mainstream Pokemon game. You go around, you catch the Pokemon, you level up, you train them, you level up some more, you battle gym badge, you battle gym leaders for the gym badges. Same very sort of formulaic kind of thing going on there. One thing I do want to note is they did add the new fairy type, which was awesome. That sort of mixed up a little bit. But they did something very similar to this in Generation 2, where they added Steel and Dark type. So yeah, which was different to the previous formula. But something that I think is much more remarkable than that is they added a completely new function. No new types, no sort of similar functions to previous functions or variations on old functions that have been added into the games. A completely brand new function known as Mega Evolution. Now, this is obviously, X and Y plus Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have already come out, so we all know about Mega Evolution, but just, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like, this is something they've really not done before. It's something, that Game Freak and the Pokemon series has never really touched on, like, stages above a third stage Pokemon. And I think for them to be able to do that, for them to have gone ahead and done that, it's very ballsy of them, if I may say. And it's just absolutely astounding that they actually decided that, hey, we're going to just go ahead and just add this thing here that why it just fucked the entire series up and screw us all over and make Pokemon ruin forever and never have another game out of it. But they decided to go, hey, we'll do it anyway, because they figured if they pulled it off, which they did, then it would, it would have made the game better, which it actually did. I thought, and there have been many times where I've had to rely on my one of my Megas, like Mega Charizard X or Mega Bulbasaur or Mega whatever Mega that I may have on me at the time. I usually have to keep one to two Megas in my team because I'm a cheapskate like that. And I think that's just. Oh, and of course, what we cannot forget is we can now sit on benches. As of Generation 6, you can sit on benches, chairs, and beds, and all that shit. So, that's pretty good. In terms of music, very good music, very, very nice music. Again, very orchestral sort of compositions, and I think that's absolutely amazing because, well, they didn't really sort of do that until Generation 3, and even then it was great at the time. But as the generations kept on coming, it was like, it's kind of lagging behind a bit, But with X and Y, the music is it's really good. Just don't have a finish there. The music is just like I gotta say, one of my favourite songs from X and orchestral pieces or whatever, OSTs or whatever I like to call it, for X and Y would probably have to be the Jingle of Battle, because it just, they've never really done something like they have a really good musical score. The Pokemon games do, mainstream ones, as well as most Pokemon games do. But they, again, as I said, they do things more like orchestral scores, whereas this, they've gone and did something a little bit different, though it's still instrumental, it's not orchestral. Okay, so what I mean by that is basically orchestral will be something like trumpets, drums, violins, cellos, all that fancy stuff, which personally I can't get enough of. But what they did with the Gym Leader battle theme is they got onto guitar in for that, and that's instrumental. It's not orchestral, but it's instrumental. And I think that made it really just that battle theme. It's one of those things you find out of a really sort of action-packed anime, And I think that's just really, really good. So next thing is the story. Now, the story of this is, so going back way before X and Y or any of the games, there was this war, and there's this giant or whatever called AZ. And like A, as in the letter A and the letter Z. AZ. Not as, but, well, no, it's not pronounced as, it's just AZ, so anyone who's getting confused or whatever. But anyway, it starts off with him, where his Pokemon Floette died, which is the middle stage between Flabebe and Florges. And basically what happened is it got caught in the war and it died, so he created a machine to resurrect his Floette, and for some reason both he and Floette could live forever or something, I don't know. And then he was so sick of the war and what it's doing to all the Pokemon that even though he wanted to save the Pokemon, he sacrificed a bunch of their lives to steal the energy for this machine to wipe everyone out anyway, to start the war to save more Pokemon. Plot holes. It happens. But I think it's really great, and because of this, the Mega Evolution has came about. I think that's a really good plotline. And then fast forwarding to the main game series, you have Lysander, or Lysandre, or whatever you like to call him, who's basically leader of Team Flare, who wants to create a more beautiful world. How does he do this? He tries to get that giant Pokemon Xerneas to use his powers of life givingness to a machine to destroy everyone, to just make a blend, let's say. Kind of like Cyrus from Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, but instead of being an emotionless asshole, he is an overly emotional person who is fixated on beauty and the outer beauty of people. So yeah, kind of chauvinistic when it comes to dating, I guess. and then you got the characters. So obviously they do the main character, so you project yourself to the main character, so you are the main character. So you can't really, so that's, you know, you take from that of who you are. But with this one, I found that they had too many rivals. Now this is one of the things that really sort of pick on X and Y in Generation 6, the new Generation 6 games, not no remakes or anything like that, but the new Generation 6 games. This is sort of what I pick on it about, because the thing is, like, you know, there's just too many rivals. You only got to have 1 or 2 battles with the rivals. Even then, Serena, she was, or the male equivalent, they were the major rival. So you could just have those characters, but you didn't necessarily have to make them rivals. You could just make them side characters, side main characters, but they could have still kept Serena the main sort of rival, which is sort of what I was a bit disappointed in, because he never really got to have the amount of battles that he would with a regular rival, like with Gary, or Blue, or Silver, or Wally, or May, or Brendan, whoever, you know, and that sort of thing I generally just don't. Nah, too many rivals. So that's really the only thing I can sort of complain about, I guess. So anyway, but with those rivals in mind, Serena, of course, she's your rival. She's a competitive one. Therefore, she competes against you until she realizes she can't beat you. Blah blah blah. Generic, opposite character, you know, opposing gender-based character stereotypes for every Pokemon game ever. You've got Tyrino, I think. Tyrino is the fat one. Excuse me. Sorry if there are fat people out there on the internet who find that offensive, but he's fat. And he likes his dancing. And so to say for all you Tyrino fans out there, but he kind of annoyed the hell out of me. And there's Trevor. He's the pasty, whiny kid. As much as I think he's annoying as all hell, I can't really hate on him, because I can sort of, most likely I would be, if I was in the Pokemon games, I probably would be Trevor. So, hands down. You know, me, the pasty white kid. Yeah, the annoying one. And then there was Shauna. Oh my god, fucking Shauna. I swear to God, excuse my language, but oh my god, she is so annoying. Not Square, well, I think it was Square Enix, sorry. Nintendo, Game Freak, people please, just no. There are much better rivals out there. I mean, even though Gary was a complete douchebag and Silver was a thug, for rivals they did what they had to do, you know? May was a rival in the sense that she was your friend, but she also competed against you, which was a really nice fresh breath air. Well, Wally, he was also a good rival, and Wally is a good example of how you can have an extra rival that's there and will always just be that one set character, and will not have an alternate character based on who you are, but it can still be a pretty decent rival, even if most of the times he was basically beaten with one move and only had one Pokemon, and that was Rolls with the ground. Victory Road. So yeah, but he is a good. But his story, but as him as a character, as a story, as a plot element to the story, he is a good example. Shauna, Trevor, and Tyrino are not. Hell, even Bianca and Sharon from Gen 5. I mean, I don't hate Gen 5, but I did do a few things wrong. I get rid of all the old good Pokemon and so on and so forth. Actually, comments probably, but yeah. But even with that, you know, they had some good, in a way, emphasis on the storyline, especially going into Black 2 and White 2. With these guys, again, now the only thing I can sort of complain about it, the other thing I have a little bit of a complaint on is that Team Flare, other than Lysandra and Minerva, the rest of them were just too goofy for them. Like, you have these two bad guys who are dead serious about what they want, and then you got the rest of Team Flare, which are a bunch of goofballs, you know, just It's like they've like had one too many, you know, weed rolls or something. I don't freaking know, you know. So yeah. So overall enjoyment, I think as a whole it is a good game, and being a huge Pokemon fan of all the Pokemon games, side games, non-side games, whatever, lore, not lore, theories, facts, trivias, anything with Pokemon I'm a huge fan of. So for this to be my first review, it had to happen, you know. And overall, I actually really enjoyed Pokemon X version and Y version. I've never played Y, but I've got X, so they're basically the same freaking game. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, overall it was a very enjoyable game. I guess the only thing I sort of, there's only really three main things that I found wrong with the game. One, as I said before, the rivals. No, it's not. Other than Serena, who's a very generic, opposite gender to you rival. The other main sort of set game rivals just plain suck. Come on, Nintendo, you can done better than this. You've made Wally, for freak's sake. Wally. It was an awesome third rule rival. Second off, Team Flare. And I'm not out saying they're a bad team. Well, they are a bad team. How am I saying they're bad? They're a bad design choices. I think if you wanted a goofy team, you should have done a goofy leader. For a serious team, for a serious leader, you should have a serious team. You can't have a goofy team and then a serious leader. You know? Even if he is a freaking soulless Nazi ginger. Yeah, that was a game theory reference, by the way. So it was Pro Mario. I can't remember. But yeah, and the third thing. Jeez, what is it? Oh yeah, the third thing. Too easy. Now I played every generation of main game, and I'd have to say this is probably the easiest of all 6 generation games. Main games, not remakes, none of that shit. Just plain straight new generation games. Generation 6 had the easiest. That was Gen 3 with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were probably the hardest, and though there were times when I was frustrated and wanted to chuck my Game Boy at the wall and just destroy everything in sight because it pissed me off that much, it still was the hardest generation to play through. And even to this day, after playing the new remakes of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I still find it was one of the hardest for me. Even with the way they've designed the XP share, where it shares all your Pokemon, plus the getting XP and catching Pokemon as well now. Even with all that, so it is still just as hard as it ever was, and that is what I like about it. They still made it hard, which made it a challenge, and that's why when you beat it, it felt much more rewarding to beat Omega Ruby than it did the Pokemon X version. So yeah, and my overall enjoyment was very satisfying with X and Y, with all really. The good with X still outweighed the bad. It did. And for that, however, because it has that bad side to it, I can't give it a complete score. So I'm going to give at best, because of my love for Pokemon series, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. But yeah. Really what I've got to say about that one. So yeah, this is the Drunken Orange, and I hope you all have a good day or night or afternoon or whatever time it is where you guys are. I hope you all have a good time doing whatever you're going to do next, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my first video, and comment, like, subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff. And yeah, stay cool, guys. Play more Pokemon.